Hi, Zizaran here with another video, and we are going to help you stop being poor. This video will be focused more on software trade, but it will be loads of applicable tips for other leagues as well. So we will help you find mistakes in your farming as in terms of like efficiency and help you get more currency and better use your time spent in the game. That being said, remember that nothing is more important than you having fun. So this is maybe for people that are having less fun and are like, man, is there anything I can do to change this? So this video is aimed more at intermediate players. New players will probably find this a little complex and too confusing, and advanced players probably will already know a lot of these things. So first off, why your build might suck. Picking a strong build for your chosen strategy, while obvious, is really important. Even as a boss rusher, you might want to be able to run maps quickly because it's very important to be efficient in terms of how many divines you're making per hour. You really want to be tanky to withstand the difficulty and dangerous downsides of your Atlas strategy. For example, the altars, the blue altars or red altars, could have really bad downsides. Being able to completely mitigate those and click whatever you want can help make you a lot more currency per hour. And above all, you want your build to be able to scale very far. The stronger you are, the faster you make currency. And very often, league starters might be really good and come online fast, but they might not scale very well. We have loads of league starters on our YouTube that are great at this, and generally a lot of them scale pretty far into the endgame. Next up, why your Atlas strategy might suck. There's a huge difference between randomly mapping and mapping with your focused Atlas strategy. You'll get multiple times more currency, experience, and generally consistently more drops. And a thing that people often do is mix and match league mechanics that don't go well together. So there will be some things that are fast, like for example, Essence is pretty fast, strong boxes are pretty fast. There's a lot of mechanics that don't take a lot of time to do, and maybe even Breach, right? Opening a Breach and killing the first few monsters that come out can be pretty fast. However, combining this with a league mechanic like Ritual can be incredibly slow, and suddenly you're doubling the time you take per map. You either want to adapt your build to your Atlas strategy or your Atlas strategy to your build. If you already have a build, think about what is it good at and adapt your Atlas strategy to match its strengths. If you already have an Atlas strategy in mind, remember, pick a build that's well suited to it. Think about it in this simple manner. If your build has a lot of damage but not as much clear speed in AoE, consider a boss focused strategies where you're just rushing down bosses and maybe even skipping a lot of the monsters in the map. However, if your build is like an insane mapper, think Corrupting Fever, etc., but you don't have a lot of single target, then maybe you just want to have a speed farming strategy where you're blasting maps. We will make another video showcasing and sharing some of the league's best strategies more in depth and providing you with the Atlas trees for them. They generally fall into three categories, either fast mapping, boss rushing, or optimizing for a specific league mechanic. But again, the number one thing is pick what's the most fun for you. That's the number one thing that you really want to do in PoE. You might also be running the wrong maps. Choosing the right maps for your strategies are important, as well as your build may perform better in certain layouts. Bow builds might be better at open maps, and melee is often better at indoors. Keep also in mind divination cards. They can add a lot of money to your farming runs. A great addition to this league was the Fortunate Divination card that drops from sunny maps like Beach, Mesa, Estuary, Dunes, Ley Line, etc. Allowing these maps to benefit extra. Things like Breach, Expedition, Beyond, really nice for this. You can go to divcards.io and it's a website you can help choose. You can input the name of the map you're looking at or search for what div card and where it drops. Being efficient with your time is also really important. When you're playing the game, you should generally be carrying out your Atlas strategy. And remember, the hideout is lava. Any time you're spending there is usually time you could be spending making currency. You can achieve this by buying stuff like SCARABS and fragments in bulk, and by pre-rolling things like maps and SEXTANTS in more advanced cases in larger amounts and storing them away for later. Sometimes you might see streamers have a quad tab full of like SCARABS, and sometimes they make all these or create all these while they're having some downtime, like maybe while watching a movie, and then when it's time to blast, they're really blasting. If you're very efficient like this, it does actually make you a lot more divines per hour. And you'll also notice a lot of these people won't leave their map for a sale until the end of the map. Don't forget Sextants and relevant Scarabs. They really add a lot of value, and it's very important as they add so many monsters and they boost your Atlas strategy as a whole. For example, having a lot of monsters in your maps make it a lot more beyond monsters spawn, your flasks will always be up, on kill effects will be better, and more chance at loot, experience, and more. It all really snowballs. You can also sell the expensive sextants you find for your strategies that aren't yours and turn a profit in doing so. And remember, there are nodes on the Atlas tree that get an extra use out of them, so you get more bang for your buck. Using SCARABS relevant to your Atlas strategy, like for example Breach if you're doing Breach, Expedition if you're doing Expedition, will multiply the rewards you get for them, and you can buy in bulk to facilitate this. And there are Atlas nodes for SCARABS as well. Diversifying as well is very important. Once you've figured out what the focus of your strategy will be, try to identify things that you can do on the side without spending extra time. For example, if you're fighting altars, you could be doing this in a map that has good divination cards that give you some extra income. In addition, you could add mechanics like Expedition for logbooks or Harvest for the valuable juice you can sell. Harvest right now on Hardcore is like 35 per chaos on the juice. I think it's super valuable. Use tools to boost your efficiency, like divcards.io we already mentioned, and you can employ a multitude of tools in Path of Exile to help save and make your life easier. We'll cover efficiency focused one here. A great tool to roll your maps is poe.re. This is something called regex, and you can input the mods you want to avoid and those that you want to have. Copy the string into your stash and make it very easy for you to roll your maps in a fraction of the time. PoE Ninja has a great vault of information. Like you could steal builds from there. You could look up big drops and see about the price, see if it's trending upwards. And PoE Planner allows you to plan your Atlas changes very easily. If you've chosen a mapping strategy and your build has plenty of clear but struggles on bosses, it might be worth buying a carry for bosses like Maven Uber Elder to get your watchstones so you can kickstart your strategy sooner. And you might want to sell things like boss imitation, expedition logbooks, breachstones, and the like. You get consistent income from them. Otherwise, you're moving away from your build strength to roll the dice on the rewards. As an example, if you're building a Deadeye blasting legions really fast and you come across a full Malachrum invitation, you'd probably rather sell that. And like I say a lot, it's generally not worth it to run mechanics or content that you aren't spec'd into. You'll never see me running a legion if I don't have it spec'd in. One exception to this rule is Blight. If I'm in a bad map like Cells or any really tight map, Overgrown Ruins, etc., I will always click Blight. And if it says like, one lane of 7 Blights or 2 lanes of 5, I will do it. The reason for that is every reward will become Blight. Now, literally the most important thing in Path of Exile is to remember to have fun. Literally nothing matters more than that, and it's easy to remember. You can respec between things, and at the end of the day, pick a strategy that makes you have more fun with the time you're spending in the game. As a final remember, we will be posting a video with some Atlas strategies and the trees, etc., so stay tuned for that. Let me know if you guys liked this video. Thank you so much for watching. Sub if you like it, but more importantly, try to die less than I do.